Famous airplane test pilot Bob Hoover was flying back from an air show in San Diego when all of a sudden both of his engines cut out. Through some impressive flying, he was able to land the plane, saving those on board. Unfortunately, the aircraft was badly damaged. The reason for the harrowing engine failure was that the World War II propeller plane had been accidentally filled with jet fuel. Back at the airport, Hoover saw the mechanic who had made the mistake. The young man was in tears, knowing how furious Hoover must be over the loss of his expensive airplane and the danger posed to the 3 people on board. So, did Hoover yell at him, scold him, criticize him? Not at all. In fact, Hoover said that to demonstrate his faith in the mechanic having learned his lesson, he'd like the same mechanic to service his plane the next day. The reason for Hoover's benevolence was perhaps that he knew something that psychologist B.F. Skinner had discovered a long time ago, that animals rewarded for good behavior will learn more effectively than those punished for bad behavior. The same is true of people. Criticizing them won't encourage them to change their behavior because they're not primarily driven by reason, but by emotion. Any weak person can criticize or complain. It takes real character to understand and forgive. Chapter 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. One of the strongest drivers of human behavior is the desire to be appreciated by others. We all like being complimented and hearing that we're doing a good job. Some people even claim that all civilization ultimately rests upon the human desire to be important. Our craving for approval and praise makes us climb the highest mountains, write novels, and found multi-million-dollar companies. You don't need to give someone a fancy title to show your appreciation. It's enough to use simple phrases like, "Thank you," and "I'm sorry," while also giving sincere, honest praise. Don't shower people with phony flattery or they will see right through it. Instead, stop thinking about yourself for a moment and focus on the good points of the person in front of you. Also, be sure to make the other person feel important. To get into the right mindset, try thinking like Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said that every person he met was superior to him in certain ways, so there was always something to learn from and appreciate in other people. Or think about the golden rule: treat others as you would like others to treat you. So, the next time you see a tired, bored, underappreciated service employee somewhere, try to brighten their day with some appreciation. Leave little sparks of appreciation during the day. Chapter 2. Smile. A smile says, "I like you. You make me happy. I'm glad to see you." It's a message of goodwill. Once upon a time, a New York stockbroker by the name of William B. Steinhardt decided to try something new on the author's advice. Previously a notorious grouch who rarely smiled in his personal or professional life, Steinhardt committed to simply smiling more by giving himself a pep talk in the mirror the morning his experiment began. He began the day by greeting his wife with a smile, then smiling at the doorman of his building, then the cashier at the subway booth, then the traders on the trading floor and his colleagues in the office. The result? People began smiling back. At home, Steinhardt said that there had been more happiness in the first 2 months of the experiment than in the entire year before it. What's more, he found that at work, complaints and grievances were easier to deal with, winning him more revenue than previously. In short, he was a richer, happier man. As the story shows, a smile can go a long way. If someone we've just met smiles at us, we tend to automatically like them. The smile of a baby, for instance, immediately makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside, as does seeing a dog wagging its tail out of sheer delight at seeing us. So, if you want to make yourself instantly likable to someone, show them that you're happy to see them by smiling. When they see how happy you are to meet them, they can't help but be happy to see you too.